holding all the tacos. Piles.
Look at that fucking bird, bro.
Oh my God, what's up, bud?
I thought he was.
Oh shit. Oh God. I thought he was gonna like stand on the wall for a second. I was like,
All right, everyone. Welcome to episode number 80 of the Lunchtime Serenade podcast. It is a nice round number. Today we have food from HomeState. Brian has been here. He thinks it's
I've been here
very good.
a number of times.
I have never been here. I heard about it from a friend, and they're like, "You should try HomeState for the pod." And I was like, "I will do that." So I suggested it to Brian, and he said, "Where the fuck have you been? Wake up." So this
You've
right
lived here for 3 years, but like, is there one in Sherman Oaks?
Dude, I didn't realize how close it was. I could have walked and picked it up. I know,
Brother.
I saw I ordered it, and I was like, "Okay, fuck yeah!" And it was like, it's like your order's been placed, and it showed the thing like one street down and one street away. I can fucking walk.
It's like
there.
on Ventura?
It's on Ventura.
Holy shit,
Yeah.
dude. Oh my God, I didn't
know.
know there was one this close.
I know.
I
didn't
straight
either.
up only thought that they were in like Highland Park and Hollywood. I thought that was like the only two places.
Apparently, if this is good, I'm gonna be walking there quite a bit.
Brother. Yeah, I've been here a number of times. So for the uninitiated, HomeState is it's a taqueria. Simple, nice and easy. Thank you. Good call. But they have a lot of just like vegetarian options as well. Like their potato tacos are fucking killer. They're so good. So they have like a lot of options for like a lot of people. But they also have breakfast tacos.
Yeah, I'm a
That
whore
fucking
for a
slap.
breakfast taco.
Look at this, dude.
This is a cookie milk cold brew. Oh my God, it's fucking. You want to try it?
Can I?
Bro, it slaps. You can really taste it like chocolate chip cookie. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, right?
Brother.
All right, what kind of tacos did you get?
All right, so I got myself a Trinity taco, which is a breakfast taco. Scrambled eggs, potatoes, bacon, cheddar cheese. Simple, easy, straight to the point. Great.
Dude, all right.
And the best part is like you can go to like a taqueria like this that's like a more, I don't want to say upscale, but like a slightly bougier taco place, and spend like $7-8 on a taco. This bad boy, $4.25.
Chunky as
These
fuck,
other
bro.
two brisket tacos, $5 each. Easy. Clean that up.
All right, this one's a chicken. I got 2 breakfast tacos, but I'm gonna try the lunch taco first.
Wait. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, this is
there.
dangerous.
Wow, this is a big taco. What? Oh my God,
Brother.
You're shitting me.
Always good. Always incredible.
You're kidding me. That is so good. What?
Simple as hell, too. Mm-hmm. And now that you know that they're right down the street from you and you can just get like $10, 2 tacos dropped off here.
It's game over, dude.
Incredible.
I'm just gonna walk there. Fuck that. Not paying those delivery prices for some place I could walk to.
Exactly. And it's like one of those fast casual kind of places. So you just kind of like walk in, walk up to the counter, order what you want. They bring it to you. And just, it's worth it. So worth it.
Yeah, holy shit.
They're always in great locations,
Highly
as we now
recommend.
know.
Damn.
But yeah, dude, straight up, one of my absolute favorite taco
This
places.
chicken is so tender. I mean, you're right. It's like, it's so simple, but it's so effective. It's just like,
I think the chicken too, they typically like marinate it in like a tinga sauce or something like that. And
Yeah.
it's just, God, it fucks so hard.
wow. There's like a good amount of guacamole, but it's not overpowering.
Put a little bit of that salsa roja up in there.
Oh my God, I forgot the salsa. Try to have them for my next 2. Shit. All right. Wow. I can't get over this.
I know, man. I know. Every time, it's a fucking 10 out of 10.
Where
for
have
me.
I been?
It's so good. Every time I go here, I'm happy.
Why have I just heard of this? I truly thought it was new. Why? What is my problem?
I don't want to call it an institution because it hasn't been like around long enough. You can't equate HomeState to like a Roscoe's, you know? Like they're just not at the same level.
Sure.
But like, boy, the way that they are apparently expanding
Yeah.
and everything,
God damn.
incredible.
Yeah, that chicken's a solid 8.5 right there. I'm more of a breakfast taco guy though, but I just wanted like the full scope.
Yeah.
This is the Guadalupe taco.
That's why I usually get the brisket tacos
I don't
if
know
I don't
what's
get
on.
breakfast chocolate.
Oh, I think this is chorizo. Let's go. Oh my god. All right, let's
Woo!
go.
All right.
Party foul. Yeah, that's the thing I will say. These are quite messy.
Yeah. It's definitely like,
Not that that's a bad thing, but
you gotta have your napkins on hand. It is what it is.
all right.
It just be like that. Oh man, that salsa's so good.
Yo. Are you fucking like putting it? What the hell?
It's so like it's all simple too. Like it's just a taco, man. But there's just
Bro, it's
something.
rice and chorizo, and that's it.
Yep.
I mean, rice, eggs.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And it sits in that little sauce, kind of, especially with like a flour tortilla too, so it kind of seeps into it a little bit. Gets a little squishy.
The flour tortilla is very good.
Yeah, dude.
And they sell tortillas. I might have to get some.
Can't not get corn tortillas. Even though like HomeState makes their own flour tortillas, it's like their thing. I just like a nice little corn.
Guy? Yeah, I feel that. He's a Midwest boy, you know?
It's just, corn fed, born and raised.
Born and raised corn-fed boy.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of corn-fed, this is extra work for Brian, but he's going to pop up that picture of that we talked about last time on the pod because he found it. He sent it to me afterwards. It's so good.
It's so good.
The one of him being a baby, held like a football.
With my fucking like hard ass grandfather next to me.
That's so funny. All right, y'all. I got to launch right into something for you. I had a crazy weekend. We'll get into that. But what was even crazier is what happened on Monday night. So a friend of mine was like, hey, I need to ride back from LAX on Monday at like midnight. So basically, there's no traffic. There's whatever. LAX, usually horrible place to drive to. After like 10 p.m. though, 20 minutes away. Yeah. Super easy.
Dude,
so,
every time I got like an early flight there, I live all the way over in Woodland Hills. So like I'm in like a corner of the valley. It takes me like maybe 25 minutes.
Yeah, it's
Hop
great.
on a lift. I'm there. And then security's super faster in like 15 minutes. Super nice.
So nice. So I was like, you know what? I'll cash in some karma points. I'll put some good karma out there. I'll drive my friend back just in case I need a ride to the airport. Then I can, it's never a bad idea to have those little like favors cashed in so you can be like, hey, remember that thing I did for you last week?
Yep.
Can you drive me to the Los Angeles International Airport? So I was like, yeah, fuck it, whatever. It won't take too long. So I take a little pre-nap because I'm a tired old man. And, oh my God.
Yeah, dude.
Crispy potatoes?
I don't know if you watched me this whole time that you were talking. I was just like delicately opening it. Just like, yes. But like, look at this. Oh. Just fucking lettuce, a little bit of cilantro, some guacamole, brisket.
Oh.
Yeah, brother.
Oh.
Yeah, brother.
Brother. That's what I'm talking about.
It's a 10, man. It truly is a 10. And it's a place too where if you go to it, it's even better.
Oh, I bet.
Love this place.
I bet.
Absolutely. One of the highest rated places that you'll see on the pod, baby.
Holy shit. Yeah. HomeState, more like home run. This shit is incredible. All right. HomeState. So, let me take one bite of this before I continue. Damn, this, it's packed full of eggs, bro.
God. Delectable. Brisket is so good. Nice and tender. There's nothing like special to it. They don't put like sauce on it. It's just the meat.
Yo.
Incredible.
I'm a big fan. I'm a convert. I'm a HomeState convert. HomeState just sounds like a pop punk band.
It fucking does. That's the funny part. It's funny because there's a band called Home Safe.
Really?
Yeah.
It's so good. All right. So, take a little pre-nap. Wake up at around midnight. Her flight gets in at like 12:15.
What is like your normal bedtime? Like when are you like, I am in bed with the intention of going to sleep?
It's like a range. It's as early as 9:30 to like 11. It's usually like around 10:15 though.
You're a good responsible adult. I respect that.
I get sleepy, man.
Dude, I fucking wish I got sleepy.
Yeah,
it's a nightmare.
I get so fucking tired. I don't know why I get so tired. I mean, I don't get tired during the day, but like as soon as like 8, 9 rolls around, I'm like, ooh, shit, I gotta wind the fuck down, So excuse me. Oh my God, wow. drive to the airport. Doesn't take very long. Like 20 minutes, easy. Get there, pick her up, start driving back. As one does, you know. And she lives in Van Nuys, so super cool, like right up Woodman from me. Like it's really easy. So as soon as we get off the 101, right off on Woodman.
So you're on that little
We're on that little like
the off ramp,
right? The off ramp, yeah. And we had just turned onto Woodman.
Okay, dope.
My car just stops accelerating.
I don't know why that's so funny. Just like, yeah, driving, cars doing car stuff, and then it just stops. Mm-hmm. Just stops being a car.
It turned into a fucking boat, bro. I swear.
That vehicle is a large vehicle.
It's a fatty. So, oh no, I have to sneeze.
That was the cutest fucking sneeze. Oh my god, another one? Holy shit. That was incredible.
Thank you.
If that came out of like a little chibi version of you, like if this was an anime or something like that, I would have been like, yeah, man, that's perfect.
All right. I'd get like that little like one bead of sweat dripping down my forehead. Like,
yep.
Sorry. Like I'm all embarrassed.
Your eyes lose all like depth to them whatsoever.
Car just fucking stops. I'm like, interesting. Luckily, I'm not impeding traffic because it is almost 1 a.m. at this point. We just slow to a crawl right before an intersection, right before the off ramp from the other side. Okay. Right. So we're still like under.
So you're like under the overpass. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, this is just fucking great, right? Like we made it all the way. I'm like, at least we didn't stop on the highway, right? I don't know what the fuck's going on, but at least we didn't just stop on the highway. So I turn off the car, try to turn it back on. It's just doing that thing. I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And then I remember that earlier in the day, my low on gas light turned on.
No fucking way. You ran out of gas?
Yeah, bro.
Brother.
I've never run out of gas in my life because it tells you like 40 miles before you're out that you should get gas. And it was like in the morning, I get the light turned on. I'm like, And then all day of driving, and then I drove to LAX and back, and really I thought nothing was gonna fucking happen. Yeah, okay.
And you took a nap too.
And I took a nap. I ran out of gas. So I'm like, well, this is just fucking awesome.
This is phenomenal.
Luckily, we live in Los Angeles, so someone was getting arrested 2 blocks away. I could see them.
What a weird, just like, oh, nice.
Yeah, dude.
Good. This is great.
I mean, like, someone's like on the hood of a cop car. I'm like, okay, so like, you know, help is around. 2 seconds later, I'm like, all right, what do I do? Like, the car had just stopped. I'm like, just processing this. I'm like, turning to my friend. I'm like, I'm so fucking sorry. Like, this never happens, I swear.
And she's like, this fucking broke.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
Yeah. So I'm like, all right. 2 seconds later, this cop car pulls up right next to us. I was like, shit. He's like, hey, what's going on? I was like, I ran out of gas. And he's like, all right, well, literally, there's a gas station. I mean, there's a gas station every
just throw it in neutral, just push it. You push your car past this dude getting arrested. You're just like, hey, how you doing?
He's like, yeah, he's like, all right, we can push you with our bumper or whatever. Just throw your car into neutral. I'm like, all right, bet. I'm trying to throw my car into neutral, bro. It wouldn't start, so it wouldn't go into neutral. It wouldn't even like the like accessory wouldn't even turn on, so I couldn't put it in neutral. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. No, I don't know what was happening. Like my battery was fine. I was like, dude, I don't know what's going on. So the cop gets out. He like walks around and he's like, our Chargers do this a lot too. He's like, must be a Dodge thing. I'm like, that's so fucking weird. Dude.
It's just a fucking brand failure.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's so funny.
So I was like, you want to get in and try it? And he's like, yeah. So he tries to put it in neutral. And he's like, it's not working.
This cop steals your car.
I know, right?
He gets it working and just fucking zips.
So I'm like, okay, whatever. So I switch back in there, and then he pulls up YouTube on his phone, right? Bro's like, all right, let's see what we can do. His partner was not happy, dude. This one guy was very helpful, and his partner was just standing back there like, what, you have better things to do at 1 in the morning? Like, I don't know what he was doing, but he was just
our job is not to protect and serve, all right? Fuck the serve thing.
Exactly. Fuck the serve. Our job is not to protect, all right? So this guy's like on YouTube, like leaning into my window, like how to put a Dodge Challenger in neutral without the gear shifter. Turns out there's like a secret lever. Like
they're like, we know this happened, so we built something into
exactly.
it. That's so funny.
So there's a secret lever underneath the cup holders.
What?
But then you pull the cup holders out, and there's like this lever that you can pull, and it'll put the car into neutral. So I'm like trying to pull my cup holders out. I forgot that when I bought the car, I wanted to make like all of the trim yellow. And I quickly gave up on that, but I did buy a cover for my cup holder, and it's like just yellow, and it like goes over the whole thing. So I was like, I can't pull my cup holder out. And I didn't want to look like an idiot. Like, hey, officer, I put plastic.
You completely fucked yourself like 4 times.
I know.
So funny.
So I'm like, fuck. Like, there's no way this is gonna come out. So I have to like take off this plastic piece, but it's like fully like on there, and there's no way for me to take it off without just completely breaking it, right? And I'm like, fuck it, I'll break it at this point. But I couldn't even get under it, dude.
Oh my God.
I'm trying, my friend is trying, we're like pushing our keys under there, trying to get it up. I'm like, officer, I don't know what.
Present Nick is just pissed at past Nick.
Yeah, I'm like, why did I fucking do that? Why did I do that shit? So then he's like, let me try. So he gets in there, and I'm like standing watching him. All of a sudden, I feel like the fucking cold hand of the law come down on my shoulder, bro. I hear this, and this guy fucking yanks me back. His partner yanks me, spins me around. He's like, don't fucking stand so close to my partner. I was like, holy shit, man. He's like, take your hand. He's like, put your hands where I can see him. I was like, what the hell? I was like, I'm sorry. Like, holy shit, yeah.
This guy's helping me get my car working, brother.
Yeah.
What do you want me
you
to
could
do?
have asked me. I was like, I would have gladly, like, I get it. But just ask me. Don't. He fucking like grabs me and yanks me. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, man. Holy shit, I get it. I understand, but please just ask me next time.
Cop shit, dude.
Yeah, total cop shit. I can see how fucking scary an encounter with the cops is.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were helping me.
Yeah, and meanwhile, like his partner's like legitimately trying to do like the thing a police officer. Yeah, he's like, I am going to help this man. Like this is my job as a police officer.
Yeah, and bro just went full on like touched me, bro, and pulled me back. I was terrified. I was like, all right, man, like sorry. So he like made me like put my hands like at my sides, not in my pockets, and stand back from his partner.
So like you can't work on your own vehicle,
right? I was
because a police officer is just inside of it.
He's like, either stand at the back and put your hands like on the car, or stand back by me and put your hands at your sides.
My guy thinks he's arresting you.
I know. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, this guy's. I was like, whatever. So the cop could not pull my shit out, right?
Jesus.
So I'm like, oh my god. They're like, you're gonna have to call a tow truck. And I was like, they're like, do you have AAA? I was like, I have it through my insurance. And they're like, if you call it through your insurance, it's gonna take a couple hours to get here. And I was like, well, shit. They're like, you're gonna have to just call a regular tow truck. And like, we can do it for you. And I was like, I don't really want to pay $150.
He's literally just gonna drag you to the corner.
Dude, I mean, I can see the fucking gas station from here. So I'm like, fine, do it. They call a tow truck. I'm still trying to pry this shit up. I'm like, I'm not gonna pay $150. This is such bullshit. Pull it. Finally, I hear it just snaps in half. I'm like, fuck it, whatever. So I like rip it up. I rip it up. I like get it all. I'm like, okay, I got it. I pull it out. I find the secret lever, put it in neutral. I'm like, let's go. And this guy who I called Cue Ball because I think I don't know. Is
this the asshole?
No, this is a nice guy.
Oh, okay, interesting.
It was an affectionate Cue Ball.
Cue Ball.
Yeah, Mr. Clean.
Mr. Clean.
So just like shiny. His head was shining in the moonlight, bro. Like it was like fully bald. So he's like, all right, let's go. So he's like, put it into neutral, and they get behind me, and they're like, you ready? I'm like, I'm ready. It was some fucking scene out of like the Fast and the Furious. The cop car's pushing me, and I'm like, ah! We're going like 3 miles an hour, but I'm like, let's go.
That we like do cut-ins, and we're just like getting like really like frenetic.
And then you
like
zoom out, and they're like,
and then it's just you like entering the frame on the right, going through it.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So they're like, all right, we're gonna speed up to about 20 right here, and then we're gonna veer off so you can veer off into the gas station. I'm like, okay, cool. So they speed up. They're like, all right, go. They break off. It was so calculated. They break off. I break off. Go into the gas station. I have just enough momentum to get up to the pump. I'm on the wrong side.
No, Nicholas.
So I get out and I'm like, sorry guys. Actually, can we push it one more time? So then my friend gets in the driver's seat, and me and the two cops are on the side of the car, pushing the car, right? into the other side. My friend is confused as to what we're doing. So she pulls it on to the wrong side again. I'm like, no, the pump is on your side. It's on the driver's side. She's like, okay. So we make one more loop and we pull in and finally we get it. I fill up and I'm like fully expecting them to like watch or something and be like, make sure I'm good. As soon as we pulled in, they're like, have a nice night. I was like, what if it doesn't work? I didn't have my, dude, you know what was scary is I didn't have my, ID on me. I just left my wallet because I'm like, oh my God, it's 12:45. I'm just going to go there, come back, go to sleep. Didn't bring my wallet. I thought they were going to be like, let me see your license and registration. And the whole time I was like, fuck.
Just like slowly panicking.
Yeah. And I didn't have a credit card. So my friend had to buy gas. I Venmo'd her. But I was like, hey.
She was like, I just got off like a 4-hour flight. I'm dealing with this. Now I got to pay for this motherfucker's gas.
I was like, listen, I'm really sorry for this. So yeah, that's what happened.
Dude, that's so funny.
But I lived to tell the tale.
Oh my God, dude. You did. You almost didn't, though.
I almost didn't.
From that one moment.
I was like, my light flashed in front of me when he was like,
oh, dude.
It was scary as fuck.
Dude, that's like one of the worst like cop experiences I've ever had was like me and my friends were like walking around like our friend's neighborhood. This was like freshman year of high school or like even in middle school. Like we are like kids, right? We're just walking through the neighborhood. We live there, whatever.
Right.
So we're walking around and like out of nowhere, like these 3 cop cars pull into the neighborhood and like cut us off. So, like, one pulls up in front of us and one pulls up here. And they get out. And fucking both of them have, like, their guns unholstered and, like, their hands on them. And we're like, we are 13. What do you think we're going to do, my guy? And they're like, what are you kids doing here? And we're like, we live here. And they, like, interrogated us. And they're like, well, you got to go home. And we're like, okay. So we started walking back home, and like both of the cars are just slowly blocking the road fully behind us, like following us to make sure that we like walked in the door of our house. And we were like, okay, I guess. This is like a residential neighborhood.
Dude, I know. I mean,
the suburbs.
I've been, I mean, it's not like.
Yeah, dude.
This is like the most like, what the hell?
I'm like, I didn't even know people in this neighborhood called the police.
I was going to say, I didn't know there was even crime in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know?
But they're like, oh, these hoodlums.
Yeah, they're going to go steal the newspaper from Mr. Smithers or something. Like, it's like, what's the worst that's going to happen in that neighborhood?
I'm on a Razor scooter with like fucking shorts and a t-shirt on. What am I going to do? Come on.
What the hell, bro?
Awful. Always bad.
So then I had another run-in with the cops this week, dude. A day later.
Oh, no, brother.
13 hours later, another run-in with the police. I'm walking home, right? From a haircut. I'm walking home. I'm like, it was too hot. Actually, I shouldn't have walked home. It was like almost a mile. Shouldn't have walked home. It was like 3 p.m., right? Middle of the day. Peak fucking sun. Peak hotness. Dude. Like 90 degrees. I'm like, fucking, I walked there, walked back. And so I'm walking along Moore Park, and then like, so you cross. I get to the intersection of my street, and I'd have to cross to get there, but it's not a crosswalk, right? And it's kind of a busy, like, because it's right, like Woodman's right there, so there's always cars coming in and out. So it's like I have to wait there for a time to cross. So I'm standing there. I see this cop car pull up, right? They pull up in the median, and I'm thinking they're just turning. They roll down their window, and I'm like, oh, fuck, they're going to be like, don't jaywalk or something like that, right? So I'm like fully preparing to like have to walk down one more block and all the way around, which probably would have taken just as much time as waiting there, but I'm stubborn. And they're like, Rashad. And I was like, I thought like...
You're like, me?
I thought they were introducing themselves. I was like, what?
Yo, what's up? I'm Nick.
I looked around. I was like, what? They're like, you're Rashad. And I was like... What? Are you talking to me? They're like, yes, you're Rashad. And I was like, I'm like, what are you saying to me? They're like, your name is Rashad, correct? And I was like, oh, you're saying, okay. I didn't know what you were saying. I was like, no. I was like, my name's not Rashad. And they're like, are you sure? And I was like,
are you sure that is not your name?
I was like, I am so positive. Like, what's your name? I'm like, it's not Rashad. Why do you need to know my name? And they're like, where do you live? And I was like, around here.
You just like point down the street.
Yeah, I'm like not telling them explicitly. I'm like, I didn't tell them my name. I didn't tell them where I live. I'm like, why do you need to know? I'm just like, I live around here. I'm walking home. And they're like, okay.
And this is the middle of the day.
It's 3 p.m., bro. It's like,
It's not like it's midnight and you're walking around with like a hood up and a backpack and shit.
I have a fucking Indiana jersey on and I'm like walking home.
Sweaty as fuck.
So sweaty. And they're like, all right.
These motherfuckers holding you up in the hot sun.
So I'm standing here, intersection. They turn left, they loop around, and they sit right behind me at this stop sign, right? Sit right behind me, just waiting there, idling. And I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? So I'm like, all right.
They're just waiting to give you a ticket for
weird,
something. Right,
so I'm like, okay. So I'm like, this is weird. So I walk down this way to go to a crosswalk. It's like another block this way. And I cross, and I come back, and you can see them like inching up to try to see me where I'm going this way. Like I see the front of their car pull up, and they're like looking out the window. And I cross, and they're like, their eyes follow me this whole time, right? I turn onto my street, they cross onto the street. They're like going on. I'm like, what the fuck?
Like following you down the street?
Following me down this fucking cul-de-sac. I'm like, I like turn around and I'm like, and they just don't say anything. They're just following me. I'm like, what? I'm like, if it was nighttime, I'd be fucking terrified.
Oh, absolutely,
I'd be
dude.
Shitting myself. This never happens to me. I feel lucky to be able to say that, but like I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
And I finally I go into I'm not gonna run because that looks fucking crazy as hell. I go into my gate and I just watch them from the gate and they just loop around the cul-de-sac and leave.
Dude, that's so
weird. It was
weird.
Weird as fuck. I don't know if I fit a profile of someone named Rashad that they were looking for, but for what?
Yeah. Still, either way, you got fucking profiled. Dude.
I know.
That's fucking gross.
Weird as hell, bro.
That's so awful. I'd not to equate anything to that, but like in my previous neighborhood in North Hollywood, like we had like fucking MS-13 tags like show up. Like it was not like the best part of town. I loved that place though. But I remember like I was working the night shift at the time, so like I was coming home one night at like 1 a.m. Right. And so I'm like driving around my neighborhood trying to find fucking parking because nobody can park.
Oh, you found
in
it
this
here,
city.
Though.
I did,
dude. Hell yeah!
It was incredible. No, it's super easy.
Because you like knocked on my door and I was like, "You didn't text me about parking."
Yeah, I know.
I thought it was the food at first.
No, I saw it. It was perfect.
Let's go.
But so yeah, dude, I was just walking home at like midnight and I found a parking spot like, oh, dude, maybe 3-4 blocks from my apartment, and I was like, whatever, it's fine. Park my car, get out. I'm walking back. I have a backpack on and like a water bottle because I was at work,
yeah.
And so I'm like walking down the street wearing just like a black t-shirt and like jeans and then like, just tennis shoes, whatever. I'm like a normal looking white kid. And I'm walking down the street and a fucking like one of the like the escapes.
Yeah,
like the
big ones.
Yeah,
that was the one
ones.
that pulled up next
to
me too, yeah.
It like pulls around this corner and is like slowly driving and I hear the car. And I'm like, oh, it's probably just someone pulling in. And then I like keep hearing it. I'm like, what the fuck? And so I like turn back. Cop car. Super slowly. Driving down the street.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. So I keep walking. And I like turn a corner, continue walking down this other street. Turns a corner, drive slowly. And I was like,
what the fuck, man?
What are you doing? And I'm like, what? Why, my guy? And so I'm just like, I'm just trying to go home, brother. And I was like, man, people deal with this shit.
Oh, I know.
All the time.
I know.
And this is like the 1 or 2 times that I've had to deal with it. And it's like, this is awful. It's just the sheer fact that like so many other people have to deal with this on like a regular basis is fucking miserable.
And the fact that you feel scared when there is a law enforcement person following you at night.
That's a fucking dude with a gun, man. I don't know what he's gonna do. Like it's absurd. Like I absolutely have no idea what this guy's gonna do, and I do not expect them to just not start shooting.
Right. They're not gonna be like, hey, how's it? Whatever. They're just gonna be like, what the?
Well, I mean, they probably will be like, hey, how's it going? Because I'm white. But like,
true.
And like, I walked into my little gate, opened my door, turned around, waved to them, and they like drove off. And I was like, okay, and walked inside. And I was like, fuck y'all. That's so shitty. And it was like,
so fucked.
And the other thing too is like that neighborhood is like a predominantly like Hispanic like demographic in there. So I was like, are you guys just fucking driving through here, just following people walking to their homes?
I wouldn't put it past them.
Gross, dude. Ugh, I hate it. Let us know your worst cop stories down in the comments below.
Yeah, let us know. Fuck, man. Yeah, fucking crazy. 2 run-ins with I mean, I never
in like 2 days, too.
The day after.
Yeah, that's not even 24 hours later.
I know. It was like
That's
12
insane,
hours
dude.
later, truly. Yeah, it was nuts, bro. It was so weird, but
Fucking Rashad.
they were so sure that I was Rashad, dude. Like, I must look exactly like someone that they like are profiling or following named Rashad, because like they were so confident. Rashad, right? Like they were like, yeah, you're Rashad. I'm like, I'm not Rashad.
Whoever they were profiling, they only had like a headshot, and it was
Right.
like the guys like didn't have great eyesight, so they were looking at it. They were like, "Oh, that's probably him if he didn't have glasses on."
Yeah,
like
exactly.
weird.
It was, I don't know, man. It was so weird. They were so certain. Like the way they said it, I was like, they're like, you're absolutely Rashad. Like they thought I was lying when I said I'm not Rashad. It was so weird. It was fucking weird, man. I don't know. I almost wanted to be like, what are you doing? But I didn't want, I knew I shouldn't, but like,
Just like take a photo of him real quick, just for future reference. Leave.
these idiots think I'm Rashad.
Live stream. Like, what's up, everybody? It's
What's
me,
up, guys? It's me, Rashad. Just antagonize the cops.
Jesus,
Yeah, no.
that probably wouldn't end well.
That would not end well, so I decided not to.
Especially when they like force you to the ground, pull your ID out, and they're like,
Yeah.
Ortega. What?
Oh God, he's not a Rashad, but he's one of them. Get him.
One of them.
Yeah, bro. So, anyways, 2 run-ins with the man this week.
Damn.
It was
long
wild.
arm of the law.
The long arm of the law.
Damn. For like no reason.
For no reason.
There was no law to be enforced.
I know.
Well, I mean, you were about to jaywalk.
I was
but,
gonna
like,
jaywalk. I truly thought they were gonna be like down to the crosswalk, but no, it just took a completely different turn.
Yeah, they were like looking for like a dealer. They were like, we're gonna kill this guy.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly,
Jesus.
exactly. And I feel like they were maybe like, since I was denying that I was Rashad, if I had jaywalked, I feel like that was enough of a reason for them to stop me. So
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah,
know?
I also agree.
So I'm like,
You should go put out like a sign that just said like Rashad, like stay away, like bro, they're looking for you.
hey Rashad, there's pigs all over the place, bro.
It's a farm here, baby.
Yeah, it's a absolute animal farm. So yeah, crazy.
I think you can get arrested for that. Like
For
if they find
jaywalking?
out, not jaywalking, but like if
Alert. Oh, I see
yeah,
what
like
you're saying.
alerting people that there's like a police presence or something like
Really?
that. Yeah, because like I remember reading an article of like a dude was like there was a speed trap like maybe a mile or 2 down the road,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a guy who had like set up like a sign and was like speed trap like a mile up the road, like slow down, and like was like sitting there with it, and they straight up arrested that guy because they were like, you're like impeding police work. And he's like, what are you talking? He's like, honestly, this is more effective than what you're doing.
Right. I know.
What are you talking about?
100%. 100%. If you don't want people to speed, I'll tell them there's a cop. Otherwise, it's just fucking waste everyone's time.
And then boom, you don't have anybody speeding. But I mean, you don't hit your ticket
Then you
quota.
don't hit your
So
quota. Yeah, so
it is
you
what
gotta
it is.
be
Dude, I
dicks
watched
to people.
speaking of like fucking getting the wrong guy, there's a video on Reddit today that was from like Now This or whatever, and like this dude was just like out with his family in his front yard, just like chilling, having a good time, and these cops pulled up and like started to like arrest the man, and he was like, what are you doing? And they're like, we have a warrant for your arrest in Louisiana. And he was like, I have never lived in Louisiana. Why would I have a warrant there? Like I've never been there. And they were like fully arresting this guy, thinking that he was a different person. And they were like, yeah, we're taking you in because you're this guy.
Yo.
And they're like, and he's like, no, I'm fucking not. Like that's not who I am. And they're like recording and shit like that. Fully believe that like if there wasn't a person with a cell phone camera like filming this, like this would have gone way worse.
Absolutely.
But like they were straight up like, you are this man.
What?
And he was like, no, I'm fucking not. And he was like, let me speak to your supervisor. She's like, I am the supervisor. And he was like, okay, cool. Well, I'm not your guy. So like,
Check
sorry,
my
bud.
ID, bitch.
Yeah. And so like they did, and they just left. And he like sued.
Lawsuit.
Yeah, he sued them, lost the lawsuit because they were like they did nothing wrong. The cops did what they were supposed to do.
I'm pretty sure they're supposed to identify you
Yeah.
before they start putting you in handcuffs.
Yeah, dude.
But, could be.
And it was like in front of his fucking kids and his family and shit too. Like how fucking traumatizing is
The
that?
lawsuit. That's so fucked, dude.
It was awful. I was like just reading about it, just like incensed at like 8:30 this morning in bed, just like fucking.
The law
goddamn
is
it,
not
man.
out to help the little guy, bro. The law does not give a shit. They postponed my court date because because I didn't serve the papers on time, which is bullshit because I paid the sheriff's office to deliver the papers, and I have detailed reports from the sheriff's office. They mailed them to me. Exact day, exact time, exact description of who they handed the papers to, and they had the people sign off. And they're like, no, they didn't deliver it in time. So I'm like, this is fucking weird. So I called like the free small claims like assistance hotline or whatever. And I was like, hey, this seems a little weird, right? Like they said I didn't serve the papers in time, but I clearly did. Like I have detailed reports of, I was like, what is the like time frame where I have to deliver it? And they're like 21 days. I'm like, it was a month and a half before that they delivered it. And they're like, yeah, they're like, unfortunately, the court kind of will just grant an extension to anyone who asks. So I'm assuming they didn't have a case because I sent in my evidence. You have to send in your evidence to everyone you're suing and the court. And so I sent it in. And the day that they filed for an extension was the day after they got my evidence. So they're like, I'm assuming they saw your evidence, realized that they did not have any case. It was an automatic win for you. So they postponed it, either hoping that they could put something together or just hoping that you drop it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, that's fucking stupid.
I'm also surprised too after that. Well, I guess they've been served, so they can't just like now settle out of court because they like are legally obligated.
They could.
They can.
Yeah, they totally can. Well, I don't know if it's
would that end the lawsuit though? Because like it would be like, I mean, I guess you could do that. They would pay you what you're owed, and then you could drop the suit. Mm-hmm. So I guess that would technically be settling.
It would be like a court mediator, or it would be like, it's called like mediation or something like that. But it's all out of court, and then I think I don't know if I have to drop the lawsuit or it immediately gets dropped after that. But they easily could do that, but they don't want to pay. They 100% they don't want to pay. They're shitty. Right. So anyways, it was kind of nice to talk to the person on the phone because they were like, they're like, okay, sounds like you're doing everything right. Because I haven't talked to anyone in the legal system who like knows, I've complained plenty about this. But
and like your the extent of your legal knowledge is like what you're able to like read,
find online. Right.
Like you're not a lawyer.
Exactly. So it was nice to be like, okay, this is what I'm doing, this is what I think. And they're like, oh, that's all totally correct, you're good. And so that was like kind of cathartic a little bit, but they're like, yeah, unfortunately they kind of just automatically grant the first extension. If they keep asking for extensions, they'll be more scrutinizing, but they're like, you kind of just have to roll with it. I'm like, all right, sounds good. The reason they put on the paper, they're like, need more time to interview witnesses. I was like, interview witnesses for you not paying me my shit back? Okay, whatever. Good luck.
Weird. How many witnesses are there going to be?
What witnesses? What I emailed everything to.
Or maybe they're going to like talk to their employees and just be like, all right, we're getting the story straight.
Right, exactly. Yeah, so we'll see. I'm very interested.
Man. Huh.
So anyways, they pushed it 2 fucking months.
Dude, imagine like needing that money.
That's what I'm saying.
Most people,
I feel very lucky that I am not like destitute and need this fucking money. But like so many people who are suing their landlords for the money is because they fucking need it.
Yeah,
right now.
God, dude, that's so fucked.
It is fucked, man. Yeah, and then now having to wait. I mean, I've already had to wait 4 months because I graduated. I almost said graduated. I left in April, at the end of April.
Right.
And now it's August, and now I have to wait 6 months. Total, like people can't. I don't know. It's fucked.
That's wild, man. That's a large amount of money to just hold from somebody.
That's what I'm saying.
That's crazy.
Almost $4,000. That's a good amount of money. So,
you okay? What just happened?
Oh, dude, I'm wearing these shorts that I wear for tennis, and they have like a netting inside.
Okay.
And it like bunches up my underwear. So I usually like, I have this horrible habit. I'll do it on the court too, where I reach inside and like pull my underwear out. I just did that, but like
someone's just watching you just digging inside.
Yeah, I'm like digging inside, but I just scraped my shit on the bottom of this table.
Dude, I'm such a baby when it's like small things that hurt me. Like my fucking desk chair is like one of those Herman Miller like Aerons.
Yeah, nice.
And so like the legs are solid metal. And I was like walking around like doing some stuff with my computer yesterday, and I like kicked it with like my baby toe and was just like just like leaning forward, and Megan's like on the couch like working, just looking at me like, God, you're such a baby. And I'm just like, I know, all right? I know what I am, man. Okay?
I know what I am.
It's the worst. And like every time like if I hit something on like my elbow, that's the worst. I'm down. Dude, yeah. I gotta stand for a second, regain the feeling in my fingers. And then I'm like, all right, we're good. And she's just like, what is wrong with you? Any little
minor scrape, it's fucking grosses me out. I was cleaning my bathroom the other day, and I'm like, I spray bleach, and then I'm like cleaning it. My hand slips on the like. So I gotta set this up. So this is my faucet, right?
Okay.
This is my faucet, and I'm like cleaning up here. My hand slips, and there's a sharp edge of the faucet, and it goes right there, and it takes a little chunk out right here, and there's bleach on it, right? So my hand just starts fucking burning, dude. And I mean, it's a tiny little, it's bleeding, but it's It's small.
Right.
But there's like bleach in it. And I'm like, oh, I had to sit down for like 10 minutes, dude. I was like, nah.
Dude, that's like this.
Yeah.
Now that this is
It's
like
worse
healed.
when there's a little flap of skin on it. I'm like,
and like the way it's healing too is like there's a bump where like the skin was separated, so it's like reattaching itself. So I'm just like, so now it's just like a scar.
what happened there again?
This was the thing where I was taking out the trash.
Oh, yeah.
And I just like nicked it, and I was just like, and it didn't hurt though. Like I think I talked about this on the pod too, but I was like,
now.
I nicked it and was just like, and then just like ran down the hallway.
You gotta throw yourself in the trash now.
Yeah, just like blood all over my arm, just like running. And I was like, I hope someone doesn't just come out of their door,
gross,
just opens it, me just running down.
Get out of the fucking way! I have a tiny cut on my arm.
Oh, dude, I'm such a baby. I know it is. It is what it is.
Baby gang, you know what I'm saying? Goo goo gaga, bitch.
Goo goo gaga, bitch. Dude, that's so funny.
We're the 4Gs, the goo goo gagas. We run this crib.
The Goo Goo Gaga gang.
The
5Gs.
We're at 5G. Oh my god.
That's what it is.
5G network, bro. It's
The
just
fucking
babies
the
running
boss
world.
babies are showing up, taking that shit over.
The Goo Goo Gaga gang. That's so fucking funny.
I'm glad you find that funny.
Oh, we're the G5s. Yeah, that sounds sick as hell.
It sounds like a late 90s, early 2000s like
Smooth R&B group.
yeah, like not a boy band, but like
a Boyz II
one-hit
Men type
wonder.
shit.
Yeah. Like we had one heater that we're still living off the residuals from,
Absolutely.
and we're just producing other people's music.
Speaking of which, bro, that just reminded me.
Nicholas is a musician, everybody.
One hit wonders, baby. So, oftentimes they don't grow up to be that well adjusted. They're still clinging to that, early 2000s.
Look
hit
at Aaron
they had.
Carter.
That's what I'm saying. So this weekend,
better now.
I played a show, right, in Sparta, Kentucky at the Kentucky Motor Speedway. The whole entire festival was a shit show.
I remember you telling me about this, but for some reason that setup in Sparta, Kentucky at the Kentucky Motor Speedway,
dude.
I'm envisioning you in like a fucking you're in like a booth, fires going off, and there's like monster trucks, and it's just like dudes in like cowboy hats, just like
I wish it was like that.
That'd be
it was
a dope
not
show.
It was not cool at all. Whole festival is horribly run. Worst festival ever. I can get into that later, but horrible, right? Not good. The way it was set up, logistically, it almost failed. They almost canceled it an hour before doors. They were $1.7 million in the red. I mean, for a 3-day festival, really just horrible.
They almost canceled a 3-day festival an hour before doors.
It is run by the most incompetent group of people ever. The minute we got there, right? So the other guy in Emoji is like owns the company that is running this festival. So it's like, or he's a co-owner. So it's like him and like 2 other people running the show, right? So they get there. He's like all hands on deck. He's putting out fires.
Right, doing his job.
One of the guys that he works with apparently had just like blew up on the medical staff, right? Like just yelling at them, being like, you don't fucking know shit, whatever.
You're yelling at the medical
staff.
Bro.
That prompted the medical staff to be like, these people are not prepared to run a festival. They fucking left.
Yeah.
Right? As they should.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You cannot have a festival without a medical team on staff. So they were up shit creek without a fucking life vest or without a first aid kit. So they were like, they're like calling all these different, whatever. They almost had to cancel the festival because the medical team walked off. They protested. They're like, fuck this festival.
Bro, what was his grievance with the medical staff? Like, what did he think they did not know?
I don't think it was something with the medical staff, but he's just like going on an ego trip about shit and like just was yelling at everyone in his way. And they were like,
yeah, fuck that, dude.
this.
Absolutely, they don't need that.
Yeah.
They have other shit to do.
We were pulling into the festival grounds as like a fucking army of ambulances, like 7 ambulances just pulling off.
Wow,
like,
dude.
And I mean, they had a line of, it's a camping festival. So they had like a fucking line of people. They had started letting people in because they let campers in an hour early. They let about 10 people in. This medical team walked off, shut the doors. So there's like 10 campers in this festival.
They're like, what do we do?
And then there's like a huge line. I mean, this speedway is massive, bro.
Yeah,
it's like
right.
a 250,000 capacity. 250,000 people could be there on a race day.
Holy shit,
huge.
dude.
But even at sellout, this festival would have only had 5,000 people. So that's going to look horribly small and like it's not going to look good. Right?
Yeah.
Regardless, this is the second year they've done the festival. They 4x'd the budget and the size and the scope from last year, but they didn't 4x the team. So they really just not a lot of great choices were made. Anyways, that's a whole
gotta increase our profits, and we're gonna do it by overloading everybody.
Exactly.
Oh God.
So, anyways, logistically, a lot of stuff went wrong that I can get into. However, back to the one-hit wonder thing. So, our set time we play on Saturday, and I'm doing my thing. I'm DJing. I put together a nice, super fun set. I'm having a great time, and all of a sudden, like,
do you still have to like peek out from?
The thing? I'm doing this whole thing. I turn around to drink water because I have to damn near take the whole helmet off. So I like spin around so that audience can't see me, and I go like this. My parents were there. It was a great time, dude.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I would love to see your parents at a fucking like electronic festival.
They were there all weekend, Friday, Saturday. We left on Sunday, but like, dude, we were like walking around. I'm like hanging out with them, and they're like, "This is very interesting." And I was like, yeah. But it was so cute because my mom was really trying to like get into it. Like there's this guy named...
She's doing like a little like Bob thing.
Yeah, exactly. There's this guy named Crank Dat who has like just super heavy fucking music. Yeah, he's great. He was playing and my mom was like, "This is really cool. He has like remixes. I know some of these songs." She's like, "That's a Weeknd song. That's a Lil Nas X song." I was like, "Yeah, Mom." She's like, "But
you're getting it."
Yeah, I was like, "You're getting it." And I was like, okay, from an objective standpoint though, like every time it like drops into like a drop from someone who doesn't listen to this kind of music, whatever, do they all sound the same to you? She's like, "Oh, 100%. I don't know what's happening." She's like, "After the words go away, it's all just noise." But I'm like, okay, yeah, I get it. It makes sense. So anyways, we're having fun, having a good time. Keep turning around.
I love how supportive your parents are without like really actually understanding anything that you do.
Really cute.
I love that. That's awesome.
It's really cute. So having a good time. About 20 minutes in, this guy puts his hand on my shoulder, the other emoji, and he's like, "I need you to stop the music." I was like, "What?" He's blacked out at this point, by the way.
And you're like, you're in the middle of a set.
We're playing a set, right? Going, "Hey man, I need you to stop the music."
I'm so glad that you're like as like straight edged that you are, that you can always be like the one to actually make things happen. That's so
great.
valuable.
It's so great. So I'm like stop it or like filter it. Are you gonna say something? He's like, "No, fucking stop that shit." And I'm like, "Is something happening?" He's like, "I got a surprise." I was like, but except he's yelling it because the music is so fucking loud.
"I got a surprise!"
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, the booth monitor's blaring. And I keep turning. So like, there's a control for the booth monitor sound on the CDJs. So like, you don't blow out your fucking eardrums. So you can like turn it down, whatever.
Do you ever use like in-ears or like, you always see like a lot of people like with like headsets and stuff when they're doing the mix. Do you do either of those ever? Or is it always just
wireless earbuds for the emoji at least? Because like otherwise I need to hear what I'm queuing up and I can't do that. I can't put the fucking headphones on. So I've got like wireless ones. But yeah, I mean like that also helps not having to blare shit. But anyways, I keep, I'll turn the music down so I'm not like fucking blowing my eardrums out. He cranks that booth monitor. He's like, it has no control over the house sound, right? The people in front can still hear the fucking huge PK sound system. This is just for us, all right? I don't need you. He cranks that shit. It's fucking loud as hell. But I'm like, I keep trying to turn it down so I can hear him talk. And then he'll turn it back up. He's like, "No." He's like, I was like, "Dude, this doesn't affect the outside. It's just for us. If you're going to talk to me, turn on the booth monitor."
I'm the one that does this.
Yeah. So anyways, he's like, "Stop the music. I have a surprise." I was like, I don't give a fuck.
Just fucking pause.
I press pause, right? I don't even like do it like, I just stop it.
Hard out. I love it.
Hard stop in the middle of a song. And he's like, he gets the mic. He's like, "All right, everyone, I have a really special surprise for all of you." I'm like, what the fuck is he doing, bro? What is he doing? And he's like, "This is my friend. He's out. He's going to sing a song for you guys." I was like, what? And then it clicks in my head that before we played, like a couple hours before we played, he asked me to put Headstrong by Trapt into the set list just in case. And I was like, Headstrong I was like, fine, if I find a time to play it, I will, but whatever. The motherfucking lead singer from Trapt comes out on stage,
this dude's been canceled fucking hard.
Worst fucking guy in the world.
He is a horrible person.
He's a Proud Boy.
Yeah.
He's like statutory rape defender. He's banned from Twitter. He's like super out.
The entire like hardcore scene has like fully cut them out. They're like, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
You're all assholes, and you're just like. And you defend all these gross things that like we as a whole community are like, no.
I
like,
know.
You're directly against what we like.
Such
Fuck
a piece
this
of
guy.
shit. So I'm like, oh no.
That you're having the moment where everything slows down.
Yeah.
You get your Spielberg moment of like the zoom in, like the dolly,
zoom.
Yeah, and just you're like.
I'm like, no. And this guy, this fucking like 40-year-old dude in the tightest skinny jeans I've ever seen. Hey guys, how's it going? What's going on? And Dan's like, play Headstrong. And I was like,
you're like questioning whether you like want to continue right
I was
there.
like, bro, this is I mean, I didn't say this during the time I talked to him after. I was like, dude, you know who this fucking... I was like, this is the worst look for us. I was like,
dude, that is not good.
Endorsing this is a horrible look. The electronic scene, and like most music scenes, but like especially the punk scene and the electronic scene, are very like outwardly accepting and outwardly like, if you're a piece of shit, if you're a misogynist, if you're a racist, blah blah blah, fuck you, you don't have space
like,
here.
We'll beat you up.
Yes, exactly.
Like, go into the pit, we'll kill you.
Exactly.
That's what's gonna happen.
I'm like, you really didn't think this shit through. We had this whole conversation afterwards. Anyways, so I'm like, press play on Headstrong. And I'm like, okay. And this guy starts singing it, and I'm like, whatever. I mean, I'm like up in the booth. He disappears in front. Like, there's this huge wall, so I can't really see him. So I'm like, whatever. I'm just like sitting there like this. I'm not even dancing anymore.
You're just like sad the whole
I literally
time.
like leaned over the booth, and I'm like not dancing. I'm like, okay. I let him get through 2 choruses, and then I mix it into something. I'm like, dude, you're fucking done. I mix it into... It's like a 5-minute song. I'm not going to let you play the whole thing. I mix it into something, it drops, whatever, and everyone starts dancing.
I love that you like fucking pulled him out. You're like,
dude.
no, we're done.
I was like, we're done. And so then he's like, yeah, thanks so much, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, then the whole rest of the set, I'm just like, okay, let me shake this off. I'll talk to Dan afterwards. Start playing, finish the set, get off stage. I'm like, what the fuck was that? You didn't tell me about that. You just said maybe have Headstrong in the set. I was
Dude,
like,
that's so shitty to not clue you in on what's going to happen in your set.
I know.
It's one thing to be like, hey, we're not going to announce this publicly.
Yeah.
But like, you should be in the fucking know as to what's happening for your show.
I know. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I was like, you know who this guy is? I was like, one Google search will tell you everything you need to know. You know, piece of shit. Proud boy, racist, sexist, transphobic, homophobic, every phobia you can have against a person, he has it. I don't know why you're giving him a platform. And he's like, no, he's like my friend. I was like, why are you his friend?
Yeah, that's a bigger red flag.
That's worse. I was like, he's like, well, not really my friend, but like he's famous. I was like, no, he's not. He's famous for being a piece of shit.
He's famous because people hate him.
He had one song in 2002, and that's it. He's clinging to that. You can tell he so desperately wants to keep living that rock star lifestyle. Anyways, so then this guy's now in the green room, and I'm like, why is he in the green room? Everyone is so uncomfortable.
Yeah,
like, everyone knows who he is.
Yeah.
And like, you know, he's like trying to talk to people. Dude, anyone who will listen, he's spewing like, oh yeah, the leftist media and this bullshit, and they tried to cancel me and whatever. Like full on like going like into his Proud Boy mode. Like to anyone who will listen, unprompted, not even trying to make normal conversation. That's just his default. Just like,
and this is just not a scene, a group of people to say any of this stuff to. There are some like gross dudes
for sure
in like every form of music,
for sure.
But like this type of shit specifically, not gonna fly in this area.
And especially because like half of the people in there are not even like, it's not even like artists right now. It's mostly just like the staff and the people trying to do their jobs and run around. And he's like just trying to talk to anyone about like the leftist
what
media.
The fuck, dude?
And I'm like, oh my God, everyone's visibly uncomfortable. He only lasts like 10 minutes in there before he gets kicked out, right? Someone had the balls to do it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
He gets kicked out, and they're like, they didn't like explicitly say like, hey, you specifically need to leave. They're just like, hey, anyone who's not an artist playing this festival needs to leave.
Good
whatever.
cover. Very good cover.
So like he leaves, and then he ropes Dan into like taking him back to the hotel and like drinking and getting drunk with him, which by the way, if you remember me talking about when this guy first contacted me again after 2 years, his whole thing was like, I'm sober now, I'm whatever, like I've taken some time and reflected. No, immediately not. As soon as it's offered to him again, it's easy to be sober during quarantine. I'll tell you what, you know, like good for him for getting sober over quarantine, but like when you're not around this shit all the time, it's a little easier.
Absolutely. The first moment you show up and like you can't get through. I get it. Like fucking battling addiction is something that's very, very, very difficult.
Exactly. Not to downplay that, but yes.
But like it's if you're struggling that hard, being put into the scenario again where that's like kind of the norm, very not helpful.
Right.
Super not healthy for you to be there. Like, you should probably take more of a back seat to that if it's going to bring you back into it.
Yeah.
Obviously, not an addiction specialist. Don't take any advice from me, but that's just that would be my observation. That would be what I would want to do.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know, man. Like, so the minute he's in front of this shit again, he's just like, oh yeah, like party time. So like, I don't know. Already, I was like, wow, this is just like, I don't know if I'm gonna continue doing this shit. I'm definitely not after last weekend. But like, anyways, it's the whole thing. He gets drunk with him, whatever. He's drunk the rest of the day. And then it's the end of the festival. The festival ends at 11 p.m. And then there's like a camping stage that goes till like 6 a.m. But I'm like, I'm not going to go to that. I want to go to the hotel, go to sleep. I have to leave tomorrow morning.
I'm a little sleepy boy.
Yeah,
it's
a little
9
sleepy boy. It is late. The festival's over. I'm like, hey man, where are you at? He's like, oh, I'm at the hotel. I was like, oh, why are you at the hotel? I was like, okay, well, did you not think to like get me or tell me you're going to the
you
hotel?
Just left me here.
He's like, I'm at the Kentucky Motor Speedway in Sparta, Kentucky.
My last name is Ortega. Yeah, it's probably not the best place for me to be alone at night.
It's pitch black, bro. Like, there's nothing around the speedway for miles. I mean, like, it's like pitch black. There's no towns. There's nothing.
They did like a Field of Dreams shit. They were just like, if we build a speedway, the cars will
show up.
They like built it, and the cars like drive out of the corn.
Yeah, exactly.
Like onto the field.
We've been waiting. So I was like, okay, can you get me or send someone who can drive to get me? He's like, yeah, I got you. I was like, all right. And granted, the hotel is technically on the speedway grounds, but it's such a huge grounds that it's like a mile away, and you have to walk under the freeway to get there. There's like a tunnel, like it's a
tunnel.
It's a footpath tunnel, right? Because people funnel in there, all day. But like at night, there's no lights, and you're like walking under the freeway. It's fucking quiet.
That seems like a massive safety concern.
Yeah, dude. So he's like, oh, yeah, I got you. And I was like, okay. 45 minutes go by. It's now almost 1 a.m. No sign of him. No calls, no texts. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. So I walk back, dude. It's 1 a.m. It's pitch black.
You got your phone flashlight.
Yes, I have my phone flashlight. I'm walking under like the highway. There's no cars on the highway, but there's like a ton of construction equipment on the side. I'm like,
you're gonna be met by a demon.
Yes,
some point.
I'm like, I'm fucking terrified. So I walk, whatever. I get there, get to the hotel. Like 20 minutes later, it's like maybe a mile away. I look there. He's just standing in the parking lot, like looking around. I'm like, hello? Hey, man, thanks for the ride. He's like, oh, yeah, I got you. I was like, no, I was joking. What are you doing? You called me an hour ago. He's like, oh, I can't find my car. I was like,
you were going to drive?
I was like, I was like, okay, let's see. I was like, is your car here? Oh, there it is. Found it for you. Let's go to bed. So whatever, I was like, whatever, I'll fucking put that on.
He's been looking for his car for an hour.
Yes,
he's just been lost in the parking lot.
There's like, it's not a huge. I mean, there's like maybe 30 cars in the parking lot. It's not fucking. It's not big. It's a Ramada Inn. Bro.
You just look. You just press the panic button. You're like,
yes, there it is. Everyone at that hotel was either working or going to the festival. I mean, it wasn't a huge hotel. So I'm like, fine. Yeah, he also one of the caveats to me joining this project again was I don't want to have to invoice you for shit. I want everything paid for up front. I want my Ubers paid for up front. I want all this paid for. I want my own hotel room.
I think that is a very smart thing to do given your relationship.
Exactly, because like when I was doing this all the time, I would spend hundreds of dollars on Ubers, on whatever food, and then invoice him after. And who knows how fucking long that'll take to get back. So I'm like, I don't want to do that shit. I want a per diem. I want something, right? Guarantee. He's like, yeah, I got you. Right? That was like the one condition that I had. Obviously, that didn't fucking happen. But not only that, his whole family was in town, right? And I'm like ready. I'm like on Friday night when we get there, I'm like, all right, so where's I was like, can you hand me my key so I can put my shit in my room? And he's like, we're sharing a room. I was like, oh, okay, whatever, fine, me and you share a room. I don't care. He's like, oh, so it's me, it's you, it's my fiance, it's my fiance's 2 sisters and one of their boyfriends. I was like, 6 people in a one hotel room? I was like, is it a big room? He's like, it's like a 2-bed. I was like,
So who's sleeping where?
So I had to share a bed with him. His his fiance and her 2 sisters shared a bed, and then the other guy slept on a sleeping bag on the floor. I'm like, really? This was the best idea. I'm like, this is really like the one thing. I'm like, it's very clear you do not care about me. It's very clear, right? Like that I'm just like a money sign to you. Like, I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. Fucking crazy. So yeah, not only that, after all that bullshit, I still had to sleep in a bed with him. Oh, other thing, he was so drunk, and whenever he's drunk, he's like, I want to go home. He's like a baby. Like, we were in fucking Europe 3 years ago, and he's like, he was super drunk. I need to go home. I need to leave. I'm like, why? That's like his default when he's drunk. I'm like, we're in fucking Italy right now. You can't go.
Like, anywhere. Where are you gonna go, brother?
And it's just like he just gets mad. He's like, I need to leave, and so he walks off somewhere and just like has drunk thoughts. So that was what happened on Saturday night. He's like, I need to leave. I need to go home, whatever. I'm like, bro, I mean, granted, you could, you are 45 minutes away from home, but like, you're running this festival, first of all. You're very drunk, second of all. Go to bed.
Think it over.
Reassess
you got things to do tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, so then him and his fiance get into this huge fight, right? Huge fight, which is, I've seen this happen.
And this is in the hotel room? You're in the hotel room watching this happen.
Also there were 2 other people in the hotel room that night because his fiance's sister's brother came to the festival with his friend, and they got so drunk that they lost their car keys, so they couldn't drive back. So they were staying in the hotel room. So now there are 8 people in the hotel room. And I'm like, this is just... So they're having this fight in front of everyone. I'm like, I need to fucking go to bed. It's 2:30 in the morning. This is crazy. And so he's like, they're fighting. They're like, let's go to the hallway, whatever. I'm like, fucking whatever.
Now you're just going to wake up everybody.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to go to bed. So I go to sleep. I wake up. His fiance's there. He's not there. I'm like, maybe he like went to sleep in one of his other families. I mean, his whole family's there. So I'm like, maybe he just like one of them took him in and they're sleeping there. I'm like, I don't think much of it. Everyone's still asleep when I wake up. My parents come pick me up. We go to the airport, whatever. I leave. I get a text from his girlfriend. Or I was like, I texted his girlfriend or his fiance. Fuck, I keep saying that. I was like, hey, thanks for your hospitality or whatever. Like, I'm
thanks for your hospitality.
Like, did what's his name get home? Or did he was he sleeping in another room? Where is he? She's like, oh, he drove home last night. I was like, he drove an hour from the Kentucky Motor Speedway in Sparta, Kentucky to Cincinnati, Ohio at 3 a.m. when he was drunk as fuck. I was like, and he made it back? She's like, yes.
Y'all just let him do that?
Dude, I was like, yeah, fucking cool. So I was like, not only did he put himself in danger, he put everyone else who was, luckily it's 3 a.m. There's probably not a lot of people on the road, but holy shit. I'm like, that's all I need to know. I don't need to do this shit anymore. This is fucking crazy.
Yeah, we're done.
He has no regard for anyone, clearly, not even himself. So I'm like, all right. I was like, yeah, thanks.
Dude.
So fucking insane, bro. Yeah, so that right there, nail in the coffin, no more emoji. For me, at least, history has shown that if he tries to do it with anyone else, no one really has the drive.
Everybody wants to be the rock star without putting in the effort to put in the rock.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, you can't have one without the other. Anyways, bye-bye emoji, or at least bye-bye Nick from emoji, but that also means bye-bye emoji.
Dude, that's fucking crazy.
Dude, the weekend was fucking nuts.
You had such a rough week, my
Dude,
guy.
I'm telling you.
Holy shit.
I'm telling you.
I'm glad you got some fucking tacos in you, brother. God damn.
Me too, man.
Holy shit.
Me fucking too.
Oh, let's wrap this up with a quick question that was proposed to me this week. As a musician,
okay,
and like consequently, basically any artist, as you are like in this art form, doing the thing that you do for like an extended period of time, you're very analytical with what you do, right? Does that make the listening experience of music different to you? 100%. Can you just like sit down and listen to music anymore? Like, is there more to it?
It's a little more nuanced than that, but like I find this might just be me. I don't know how many other like musicians feel this way, but like it's funny because I had this conversation or a conversation like this recently with a friend of mine, the same friend I actually drove home from the airport, and she's like, I feel like whenever like we're in the car, like we're always listening to my music. She's like, why don't we ever like listen to like music that you never like put on anything? I was like. And the thing is, like, I don't know. I don't like... I know a lot of people listen to music for enjoyment or listen to music to, like, fill the space, like, or whatever, like, or, like, just put it on in the background. I don't. And I don't know if that's because am too analytical about it, or if it's because I spend all day making music and the last thing I want to do is like put on more music in the background when I'm like in relaxed mode.
Yeah.
But like I find myself listening to not very much music. Like my Spotify stats are like, I know because you can see like at the end of the year how much time you've spent listening to Spotify or whatever.
Right.
And it's very little. It's like not a lot.
Interesting.
Which is really, yeah.
That's really cool. Yeah. I got asked it from somebody and they were like, you like working in entertainment, stuff like that. Can you just like watch movies?
Right. I was going to ask the
and
same
like
for you.
that it's kind of the same thing where it's like I spend all day every day making a movie and like or working on a TV show or something like that. So I don't necessarily want to go back and like watch something else, but like the thing is like that entertainment is still huge for me.
Oh, of course.
So like I still love to watch movies, but like because of that, every time I watch a movie or something like that, there's something that I'm trying to like pick up or figure out from it.
Same.
So like, yeah, exactly. So like, I'm sure as you're listening to stuff, you're like, I wonder how they did that. They probably did it X, Y, and Z to make it like this. And that's what I do. So like, I'm watching a movie, I'm like, oh, that was really cool. I bet they like shot it like this and then tried to set it up this way and then did all of this stuff to make it work. Oh, I like that they were able to cover up that weird cut because like your eye line is looking at this character. So this stuff that's happening over here as you cut away from it doesn't matter because you're not paying attention to it.
Totally.
Like, and that was interesting because there's a very famous shot, a very famous cut in Jurassic Park, the original one, where Laura Dern's like turned around screaming at the T-Rex as it's like following them in the car. And then in the next shot, actually this is reversed. So it's like focused on like a dude in the background and she's like facing a completely other direction. And then it cuts to a wider shot from that perspective of her turned around yelling in the other direction.
Oh shit.
And it's you don't notice it because your eyes are focused on the dude in the background. So when it cuts,
you don't realize that she's completely
it's totally fine because like you only really see like this part of her. So as it cuts wider, that part doesn't really give you enough information to make that change big enough for you to draw your eye to it. And I was just like, oh, that's fucking smart. Like you'd never notice that. And like in that whole scene with all the other shit going on, that's genius. And that's part of it is like,
that's wild.
Man, I'm like always trying to look for those things of like, what are they covering up? Like where's stuff going? It's just interesting.
That's cool as fuck.
It's like, you can't just watch it anymore, but I feel like,
I get it.
You know, I think that's part of the thing is like, we spend all of our time doing those things, trying to figure those things out. Yeah. And so you're like, oh, cool, this guy did that. I bet I can do that too. So it's interesting.
And it's not like, you know, it's just, it's not impossible and it's not like we don't enjoy consuming the same kinds of media. It's just not as easy with going in with an analytical mind to just kind of, you know, turn that part of your brain off and just like, oh, I enjoy this song. I enjoy this movie.
And of course you can do that.
You can, sure, but it's not our default.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's the thing is like you just spend all your time doing something. Your relationship with that media form changes.
Yes.
So
totally.
it's just a thing.
True.
It's just a thing. And it's not that I don't love it as much as like anybody else does.
Right.
I still love it. Obviously, I do it every day. Why would I not do it? But like, yeah, it's just weird because you're just trying to learn from it too.
Right. Exactly. Damn. That's crazy. Yeah, that is really interesting. I would be interested in hearing other people's perspectives about that.
Yeah. But I feel like if I ever end up going on like Art of the Cut at some point in my life, at some point in my career, which is a great podcast if anybody's interested in listening to it. It's just a
like editing pod, like about
it's literally like the interviewer who is also like a Hollywood editor interviews other Hollywood editors and like they talk about their projects. That's like cool. he literally gets everybody. Like 6 of the editors that I've worked for have been on this podcast. Ooh. So I'm like, this is kind of tight.
That's cool.
But it's like, it's just interesting because they just talk about shit. So I'm like,
I like that.
I want him to ask that question to everybody.
Yeah.
I was like, people at the top of their game. Ask Michael Kahn what he thinks.
Right.
Like when he goes to a movie, like what does he do?
What is his brain
like what's he thinking about? Like I just want to know that. It's so interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
That would be a really good question.
I would love to hear like Deadmau5's relationship with
right?
it.
That's what I'm saying.
And even though he's kind of an asshole,
he's kind of a dick.
I feel like he would have a really interesting response to that.
Yeah. he does think about things very, black and white analytically. So it would be interesting.
For sure.
Anyways, y'all, we appreciate you sticking through this episode of just ranting. I kind of love a good rant episode every once in a while.
Yeah, you get it out. You feel a little better at the end of it. You had some good food.
Had some great food, man. I will be frequenting the HomeState.
I'm so excited for you, dude.
Fuck yeah.
I'm so happy.
Damn. Well, we appreciate you all joining us. Thanks for the memories. Thanks for the guffaws and the ha-has. And we will see you guys next time.
Middle of the day. Middle of the week. Peace.